G'day, guys, and welcome to the Slotcast presents Footy Talk with Joseph. That's me. I'm Joseph. Alrighty, we were supposed to have two of the boys here, but Fish, you may know him from the first episode, has been a little bitch and doesn't want to come and record the pod tonight. He's too tired. But look, he's got to wake up early. It's fair enough. Anyway, we've got Dom here, as you may know from last week. Say hello, Dom.
Hey guys, how's it going? Just like to clarify before we get into it. Yes, we are missing Fish Penrose, but we won't be missing much. He's a disgruntled Dogs fan at the moment, very bitter and twisted. So we'll have my lovely presence instead.
Yeah, because I feel like he would definitely be throwing a sort of more of an angry tinge onto the pod. Yeah, he's watching that game. I genuinely thought he was going to explode as we watched that game. Side note as well, we didn't watch every game. I'm pretty sure I watched most of them. I think the one I missed was the Warriors Eels. I think I said the only one I missed actually.
Yeah, the few that are a bit cloudy.
Oh yeah, a few of them are a bit cloudy.
Under the influence of too many bottles of Shiraz.
We went through 6 bottles of red wine.
Yeah, look, that's impressive. Very impressive. And what followed later was even more impressive.
Well, yeah, just to give context, me, Dom, had a big night, as well as one of our other mates, Duggo, and Fish was there, but he buggered off to go talk to his missus. Not really good form for him. Pretty poor form, I'd have to say.
Pathetic.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, well, it's going to be a magical pod because it was Magic Round.
Magic round, some might say.
How good does that look? I'm definitely getting up there next year because that just the scenes from Brisbane, just that beautiful footy town, looked just magical.
No, it was
mad.
It was good to see a lot of the local two-heads get into Suncorp, but at the same time, good to see a lot of the touring parties. It's good how the NRL put all the same fans in the one bay, makes it a bit more tribal, has that sort of festival, carnival-like atmosphere. No, it was good to watch. Plenty to talk about.
Yeah, I think the crowd attendance was, most games had almost full crowd attendance, I think. I think 45, which a couple of games have like 45,000. I know the Roosters game did up there, so that's mad. All right, well, basically, what are your thoughts on Magic Round going forward? I think we'll move into. I reckon that we should have a couple of them a year, maybe. I think someone said, I think it was Toby Rudolph said Perth and New Zealand, and I can't disagree with him there. They're mad. I just thought it just looked absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, no. A few cities have been floated around, like you said, Perth and Auckland. I don't know about having multiple ones. I think sort of keeping the hype around one in particular hub.
Don't want to take away the magic of it.
Yeah, just wouldn't sort of want to dilute the product, but I mean, it's a great concept. There's plenty of promotion around it, a lot of excitement. I know, like you said, you want to go up there. I want to head up there one year. Just wouldn't want to take away the novelty of sort of having it once a year, but I'd be happy to see it move to different cities for sure.
I think I would say 2 would probably be max in a year. I think definitely keep it in Brisbane because just that it looks mad and it's such an important footy town. When Brisbane, when the Bronx are doing well, that's what you need in the game. To be honest, the people from Brisbane are going to go to the footy anyway. Doesn't matter if the Broncos are doing well or anything like that. But
well, they're rusted on footy fans.
Yeah, they're not as fickle as us.
Everything.
Yeah, they're not as fickle as the Sydney supporters because they've
it's not as tribal. But I mean, with the New Queensland, or more specifically Brisbane team, hopefully it builds a bit of that tribalism up there. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah, it's good. All right. Well, now we'll move on to the more controversial point of the weekend because the big man himself decided what a better time to introduce a not new rules, but tougher interpretation of rules than on one of the probably on one of the biggest weekends rounds in the calendar. And fuck me, the amount of just stupid penalties and sin bins, send offs. Look, to be fair, most of the send offs I kind of agree with. I don't think it was the send offs that people had issue with. Though I think a lot of the sin bins and some of the penalties were fucking dreadful. Like, just thinking of the Chad Townsend one, especially for me. Tyson Gamble. I think the one, what's his name? I think Lachlan Burr
from the Cowboys.
From the Cowboys on Tedesco. I think even Trent Robinson came on. I think it was on NRL 360 last night, and I was watching it and he said, yeah, it's not... That shouldn't have been a send-off. Sorry, a 10 in the bin. And I think 10 minutes is so important in the game now because it's just so fucking quick. It's basically... Like the Dragons, you guys lost the game in the first 20 minutes. Because you had...
Unfortunately, we could never claw back. And it actually, even though Maguire was in the bin, you felt once he came back... we probably could have got further into that game and definitely maybe not a grind or an arm wrestle, but maybe we would have scored a few more points and would have made it a bit more, a bit closer. But once we had 12 players cemented on the field for the rest of the game, it really took the wind out of our sails, and they put up a good fight and good effort, but unfortunately the class of Melbourne with 13 on the field showed.
Yeah, I think... and as well, I think with the send-offs, I think you got to really... Like, I know dangerous contact with the head. Who did... what's his name? Tyrell
Fuimaono.
Yeah. Who did he take?
Pap.
Okay. You know what? I was going to say that. Well, that one's a fair send-off, to be honest. I'm thinking about that. No, Pap was gone for the game. Look, I think, I think that one's a fair one. The Tyson Gamble one, I think his name is that Tyson Gamble is his name.
We got sin bin for when Ruben Garrick looked like he was heading to the corner, and he sort of stepped in and put a bit of footwork on him, and
his shoulder hit him in the head. Not even like a swinging arm. He literally that definitely wasn't a sin bin. 10 in the bin maybe. I'm sorry, a penalty maybe.
But I think where the NRL's got this wrong is. You're right. The interpretation. I
think the week as well. You could have done it a different week. Like fuck.
Well, if they've known concussion's been a massive problem for the game for a number of years, and I guess it's particularly getting highlighted with Volandis in charge. The fact that doing it in round 10 really sort of gets under my skin. The fact that rounds 1 to 9 are now sort of corrupted. For me, they don't. A lot of results would have panned out the way they did. There would have been a lot more players.
But look at the Roosters Para game; they would have been down to probably 11 men for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good example of it. Like it's just, it sort of makes those rounds not irrelevant, but it just feels like they were played under different interpretation and. It doesn't feel like it should be the case going forward. I think what the game needs to understand is, well, the administration. I think Paul Gallen was saying it well last night on the Monday Night Footy show on whatever Channel 9 has. The difference between under 12s and NRL is massive. It's not the same game. This is a professional game. Accidents do happen. No one agrees that head-high contact is tough. That doesn't add to the toughness of the game. But just the interpretation around accidents and unforceful contact could just be a bit clearer, I think anyway, personally.
Yeah, I think it was something like, any contact with the head is, either a sin bin or a send-off. But you can't have any contact to the head because then you're going to get people who, someone's like literally like the James Tedesco where Lachlan Burr got 10 in the bin. Teddy fell and he's fallen into him. And, that's not his fault. That's Tedesco's fault for fucking falling.
He can't change his tackling technique within 500 mils of a second. And I'll tell you what, it makes me more angry, not because it was in the Dragons game, but the fact that it seems like you could say certain teams, or you could just call it inconsistency in the calls. Felice Kafusi's had a forearm whacked Norman across
I
the
did
lemon
see that.
thread,
Yeah.
and he's not he's copped a fine. Whereas you got blokes, I understand Maguire and Philly Mayano have loading, but they're out for
They got
5 weeks.
5 weeks. Yeah, something.
5 weeks. Like, we're talking about Felice Kafusi, who dead set elbowed Madison in the head earlier in the year and copped 3 weeks.
To be fair, that didn't look intentional. Just from
I thought it looked ordinary, and they're saying
definitely
accidental
ordinary.
contact, intentional contact, still contact with the head, and especially under this new interpretation. I don't know. It's a bit annoying that it seems to be a team like it's nothing personal against Melbourne. I mean, I don't like them, but it seems that they've got away with one there, and
They definitely have. I think so.
they've made a team like the Dragons, who aren't a powerhouse, who aren't expected to really make a dent in the competition come the business end of the season, made them accountable and sort of made them the poster boys for the crackdown. And I don't know. I just feel it's a bit unfair.
Well, look, you've got Gerard Beale now. So
Yeah, wow, we might win the comp. Nah, fuck me. Our depth, we've just been decimated. Absolutely decimated, put it bluntly.
Fucking hell,
Yeah, rumour has it I was next to be called up playing in the centres, which shows how decimated we've been. But I don't know. That's part of the game. Every team has injuries and suspensions. It just feels like it's all come at the same time for us. But
yeah,
we're a proud club. We'll move on,
mate. That you will, you filthy fucking merger. But yeah, I think they were a bit too trigger happy those first couple games. I think moving on, I do think they'll probably not phase it back, but they're definitely like, I don't know. Like, I think they're gonna have to, because you can't have fucking two sin bins a game and two sin bins and a send off a game.
And especially, I think Paul Gallen was talking about it last night. Imagine that's an Origin game or a grand final or a semi-final, and a team like the Penrith Panthers, for example, who are absolutely flying at the moment.
Yeah,
they play against 12 men. The game's over. You're going to win that game every day of the week.
And they're going to win it by 30.
Well, I mean, could you imagine the hype and the build-up around a grand final? And say, for example, Souths are playing and one of their players gets sent off and Penrith are versing 12 the rest of the match. It's just going to decimate the product of the game. It's just saying there has to be a lot more thought and consultation around the interpretation of the rule, and they have to get it right, because there's a lot of money on the line.
I think it's a lot of fans' interests as well, because
absolutely.
Look, and this kind of moves into what was going to be my sort of other point on it. Fuck me, footy is a bit boring, eh?
Seriously, the amount of blowouts.
I'm just past the 10, 20 minute mark. You know who's going to win. Look, there was a couple games that were, kind of close. I would say Raiders, Bulldogs, but look, that was...
Fuck, with all the 3 people that tuned into that, no one wants to watch the Dogs.
Sharks Rabbits was close. Ultimately, by the end, it was fucking thrown away because Cody Walker got a slight tap on the back of the head. I think Cowboys Roosters bit close. Sort of by the end, it wasn't really. Sort of by the 50th minute, that was basically done as well.
You're right. Like in years gone by, there's been elements in the game where the game's been won in moments, or like a try late in with 5 minutes to go. It just feels like that sort of unpredictability. And
well, imagine if we had a golden point game. I don't think we're ever going to see golden point again.
Oh God! I mean, and there have been some close games this year, but just it's not as consistent. The comp, you can tell there's probably 4 or 5 teams this year that are the only ones that can compete for the competition.
Just look at the ladder. There's a top 5 and then there's the rest. I would even say top 4.
The Dragons are coming 6th, and we're like $2.50 outsiders to Cronulla, who are coming like 14th or something. So that just it's actually that sort of goes against my point, to be honest. I'm an idiot.
But I think everyone knows what you mean when you say like. But that's sort of what I mean, though. There's a top 5, and then the rest are just it's luck of the draw. Whoever
It's
sort of
less elite team in the competition
steals a win. I think if the Sea Eagles can keep going, I think they can sort of get up. If you guys pump through, at least make a top 8 that's solid. But outside of that, like Bulldogs, Bronx, like I think they're just the 2 bottom teams. I think there's sort of a little bit of a mix in between. I think Tigers, Knights, 2 teams that can play like a fucking top 4 team one day and then play worse than the Bulldogs the next. Then I think Cowboys, Titans, sort of both teams that improving. Dragons and Seagulls, I think you guys are probably the closest. Then you got the Raiders, who I don't know what the fuck. I definitely don't even know what the fuck's happening there. They won. Like, gutsy win, but fuck me, you should put 40 on the Bulldogs. Well,
it's funny, they scored with 11 players on the field.
That was funny. Watching that with Fish, I thought, we were there, I thought he was going to fucking explode.
Oh, he was about to blow a gasket.
Well, I want to give everyone a bit of perspective on how much we love rugby league and how fucking stupid we are in regards to it. We were at the AFL, and we decided that it was bit too cold for us. So, to be honest, it fucking was freezing. So, we went down into the bar, like room with SCG, and started just watching the fucking Bulldogs Raiders game instead. It was like half time, and we just started watching the rugby league instead of the AFL, which we were there for.
Yeah, look, good to see the Swans get the win, but we know where our loyalty lies. But I think to make a point about the teams that can win the competition, if you look at the sports bet odds, you got Panthers on $3, Eels on $7, Melbourne $4, $6.50 for Rabbits, $10 for the Roosters, and then the team coming 6. Although we may not be the 6th favourite in winning the comp, the Dragons are $67. Yeah. So it talks about the elite teams and the teams that are sort of just making up the numbers, or the rest of the 8 at least. In years gone by, I personally don't feel like it's been like that. We've seen the Roosters make a grand final from 6th position in 2010.
Yeah, 6th position. Yeah, we came through.
Have made the grand final from 8th. Cowboys have made the grand final from 8th. They mightn't have won those games, but it just talks about that there was more unpredictability. Lesser teams could beat top teams, but it just feels like going into most of these games, unless they're playing themselves, the elite teams are just going to wipe off the rest of the competition.
Oh, look at I think a good sort of show of how close footy was. Look at the top 8 in 2018. You had Roosters on top, Storm, Rabbits, Sharks, all on the exact same amount of wins. We just had a better for and against at the top. Then on 15 wins, you had the Panthers, Broncos, Dragons, Warriors. So there was one game separating the two, like the top 8. Then it drops off about 3 wins. 2018, sort of Tigers 12, Raiders 10 wins, Knights 9 wins, Bulldogs 8 wins, and it sort of drops down from there. With eventually you get to Eels on 6 wins. But fuck, if I see the Bulldogs winning 6 games this year, that's a fucking massive. That's that's
going to be a miracle.
If the Bulldogs win 8 games,
if it's not going to happen in Magic Round, it's never going to happen for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, they fluked the shit out of that win against the Sharks. But like, I think people see where you're coming. Like, I think everyone sees where we're coming from in terms of. I don't know. I just kind of. I don't know. It seems like I'm watching these games.
Feels like the wind has been taken out of the sails of the NRL competition. There's just doesn't feel like it means as much. I mean, it might mean a lot to the Penrith fans, and rightly so. You're having a great year, and the teams that can compete. But from round 5, for a lot of other teams, it just feels like we're just making up the numbers again. We're no real chance. And there are going to be teams some years that are making up the numbers, aren't going to compete, but it just feels like that number's growing and growing. And it's to the detriment of the product and to to the fans as well.
Yeah.
But I guess the next question is, what do you go about in terms of bringing the competition closer together? What are there any rules, any implementations that the NRL can enforce? I'm not too sure. Junior, the Holden Cup comes back again. I'm not sure.
I think there needs to be a reserve grade comp. I think that's something that should be brought back. So you have, rather than say just New South Wales Cup, you have Sydney Roosters reserve grade, St George Dragons reserve grade, basically an actual. So you mix everyone in there.
The members of your top 30.
So you have you have members of your top 30, then you have those sort of junior development players. You have everyone there, and I reckon you have them as curtain raisers to the NRL. You give us 2 games of footy. Like maybe even then you have under that you have an under 20s. So just you want people playing on that stage. Maybe not under 20s. That kind of didn't work.
But it's not like the NRL at the moment.
Yeah, fuck me, it really is. Well, like that's and I do think that I think the 6 again needs to be scaled back. I think because last year was just ruck infringements, if I'm correct. And
yeah,
this year they've done
10-metre offsides.
Yeah, I think the 10-metre offside you can't keep having it, and I think the refs need to, if it's going to stay like this, the refs need to basically explain why. Because half the time I see 6 again, and I'm like, what the fuck's that for? Because you look and like, was there a hand on the ball or someone, like you can't tell. So I think there are just a couple things that need to be done. But I think not just for the score, but I think just for the game's longevity in terms of, I think the reserve grade comp is something that we need. And have it as a second game during the day, If I got, I'm going to the Broncos v... the Roosters v Broncos game on Friday at the SCG. Fuck, I'll get there 2 hours before so I can watch, a reserve grade comp. I can watch Suwali and all that go run around.
Yeah, rather than play him at North Sydney Oval or for the Bears, which is who Suwali would run out for.
Yeah, he runs out. Yeah, so they all play for the Bears. They're our feeder team. But and obviously you can keep having those clubs there, but it can get a bit weird because you don't want to destroy the Bears or Newtown Jets, but maybe instead of having Roosters, you can have them as North Sydney Bears, but have them playing before us and basically just being even more of a Roosters feeder and like the feeder teams being even more as such. But look, I think that's a couple of things to do. Just because, fuck me, if I have to see another 50-0 thrashing.
It's not enjoyable.
It's not. I'm bored out of my brains. 50-6 Seagulls. That was only good because I got to watch Tommy Trbojevic just fucking.
That's right. Sure, there's some good athletes running around and some good football being played, but I'd much rather see a good contest.
Well, it was 9 tries to 4 for Dragons v Storm. And then for the Penrith game, it was 8 tries to 2. Like, fuck. Come on, that's just not. It's just fucking boring. Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
It's not the footy that I remember watching when I was younger. That's how I'd put it. I was used to a lot more contest. It doesn't feel like there's a contest in the game unless you're a quality side versus a quality side anymore.
Well, and then even we had a quality side versus a quality side last week, and the Rabbitohs got thrashed fucking 50-0.
That's right, which makes it even more bizarre.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like there's even.
I feel like I've never seen it before. Not at this.
Well, that was 3rd v 4th. I know Rabbits had a couple players out, but fuck, so did we against Parramatta, which is 5th v 2nd, and it obviously didn't get to that. It did get sort of blow out towards the end a little bit, but 50-0, that's fucking a lot. Anyway, look, we'll move on from that. We'll just go through and do a little bit of the review for it. Well, did you have any other sort of finish closing points on that, Dom?
On the disparity in the quality of the teams this year?
Yeah.
No, nothing more than I don't think it just plays well for the longevity of the game. I mean, there are a lot of teams that you'd probably argue having down seasons. So you're probably going to get less membership next year, less fans to the game. It's just not a good look for where the game's heading, especially when you're talking about expansion. If you can't even have 16 teams to compete evenly, why bring in another one? So sure, there might be markets for the game, but can we get our own teams in the competition sorted out
Yeah,
first? I know the NRL can't control the front of office in a lot of teams, but bloody hell, the disparity on the field is just it's concerning and it's crap and it's making rugby league boring for the first time ever in my life.
Yeah, I know. But I do think we also got to remember. I think I might have made this point last week or the week, probably both weeks. But we are footy diehards. I will watch 90% of games each weekend if I can. If I could, would watch 100%. Probably these rules and stuff aren't for us. These are rules to bring in new people that want to watch, really fast-paced game. So, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, if there's enough backlash from people and everything like that, I think there will be definitely, I think, of a coming horizon, as you will.
Put it this way, Peter Verlandy says he listens to fans. He's made changes off the back of fan polls. Time to listen to your fans now, Peter. That was a bit of a farce, what we saw this weekend and across the whole competition so far in 2021.
Yep. That well said, my man. I was so fucked. Watching those last games on Sunday was so shit. I was just sitting up at the pub, just bored out of my brain.
Oh, absolutely. It was fucking shit.
All right, well, we'll just
I enjoyed my fire engine more than the game.
Fuck, I enjoyed my water. Alrighty.
That's saying something.
I know. So, I thought this was a good game. 36-18. The Tigs v the Knights. To be honest, I don't think the score really reflects the game. It was pretty much in the Tigers' control the entire time. The Knights scored a couple of late ones, like in the 66th minute and the 80th. So it doesn't really reflect, but I thought it was a pretty good game. I enjoyed it. I like watching the Tigers. I think Luke Brooks had his fucking best game in a while. Adam Dewey basically played a 5'8", but one more step out, which I thought was actually pretty good from coaching from old mate Madge. Though still wondering why he did that. Maybe just to have Moses and Dewey on the field at the same time, which could be really good. Like sort of good coaching move there, or like positional move. Knights, fucking hell, I don't like. Sometimes they turn up, sometimes they don't. I thought Lachlan Fitzgibbon did fucking jack shit that game. But there's, I think there's light at the end of the tunnel for the Knights. I think for the Tigers as well. So I hope Knights go a bit better.
No, I've got a different take on this game. I think the Knights, along with the West Tigers, I thought you saw the two softest NRL playing squads playing together, playing against each other. Sorry, and what I can't understand from the Knights is what it tells me. They're not going to win a premiership in the next 5 years. They have no consistency. They've got names like Tyson Frizzell, Daniel Saifidi, also his brother Jacob. They've got David Clemmer. I know Kalen Ponga didn't play this game, but even in periods when he has played this year, it's the same result. They are soft. They have no backbone, and it's ridiculous. I'm sick of hearing the conversation with the Knights. People don't reference it as much anymore. They went through a clear rebuilding phase after Wayne Bennett when Nathan Brown came in. They got Adam O'Brien last year. They made the 8. They've gone backwards this year. It's an absolute disgrace. If I was a Knights fan, I wouldn't be purchasing a membership next year. They show nothing. They show no passion. There's no grit, no determination. They're soft. The Tigers, I'll tell you what, it's good to see that they looked for a few answers with trying to include Mbai. I mean, you may as well. He's taking up $800K of the cap.
That's ridiculous.
But I guess Well, it's good to see them perform, but at the same time, you go the week before they were honouring Tommy at his spiritual home ground in Campbelltown, and they cough up an 18-point lead to the Titans. Now, in this game, they set the tone. I think they raced out to a 3-try lead and managed to win, which is good. And,
Oh yeah,
good on Tigers fans. You're probably the hardest team in the comp to support.
100%.
Yeah, two soft teams. And you know what? It'll probably be flipped on its head next week. Knights will probably win 13 plus and Tigers will probably lose 13 plus. That's sort of where they're at the moment.
Look, I can't argue with most of that. I do think the Tigers showed a bit more sort of grit than usual, though. Fuck, still, like you just don't know what they're going to do next week. I think the issue? They're just that inconsistent.
That's right. Who have they got next week? They have got the Warriors. Oh God, try pick a winner in that one.
Hopefully the game of rugby league, 'cause hopefully it'll be a good game. But my God,
that's right. Hopefully there's 4 points in it for the fan.
Mate, you're kidding yourself. What's the next? What was the next game? Oh God, Eagles v Broncos. Just wow. Tommy Trbojevic.
The Tommy Turbo show.
Mate, Saab, brilliant. Jake Trbojevic, he's brilliant. Tommy Trbojevic, brilliant. Just Schuster came in at 6, did a serviceable job. Probably a bit more than serviceable, I'd say. Yeah, the Broncos had fucking nothing. They won 20 minutes and that was about it.
Well, I guess it says a lot about both sides. I mean, you got the Broncos that are just not the juggernaut in rugby league that they once were. I really don't know where they go from here. There's talk about bringing in Albert Kelly for Milford this week.
I think if we look at the team, I'm pretty sure. Well, we'll get to that at the preview.
Yeah, sorry, but I mean, it says a lot about Manly. It says that I know it's against the Broncos, but they managed to put 50 on them. If they can keep their best team on the park, they'll definitely upset one or two in that probably top bracket team, but they should be pushing hard for probably that 5th or 6th spot.
Oh yeah, I think
business time.
I think they'll get over us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. The way they're playing and just our injuries and everything like that. I think, look, they did score, 3 tries when Gamble and Ricky were sin bin. But, still, that's, yeah, like I probably said both of them probably weren't sin bins. Maybe Ricky's a bit more than Gamble's just because he used forceful contact with Ed. He tried to fucking take his head off.
That was just stupid more than anything else.
It was just frustration just of a young kid getting bashed up constantly.
That St. Gamble one was
soft as butter. Yeah, that was not. But and as well, to be fair, Foran actually broke his hand or dislocated his finger. He did something to his hand. And he was off basically from the 15th minute, if I recall. And Manly still put 50 on him. That's, I think Manly can actually make a real solid push to the end of the year. If they keep way up.
I think come finals time, they could put it this way, they'd probably be the one team outside the top 4 that you wouldn't want to verse.
Oh,
because
yeah.
they could really, if Tom Trbojevic is in the mood and so are the rest of his Eagle rocking boys, they could do some damage.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Oh, yeah, I reckon they could easily. I reckon at the moment they could probably get us Souths, probably. Maybe Para. I don't think they'd get Melbourne or Penrith. To be fair, they took Penrith to the death. So
yeah, I just think Melbourne and Penrith are probably the two sides that can deal with.
They're going to win
games. I feel like I know we're sort of getting off topic. We're reviewing each game, but Melbourne and Penrith are the two sides that don't lose momentum as easily as, say, the Rabbitohs. They can get overrun in the forwards, concede 18 points, and then in the next 20 minutes they can go put on 18 points. Whereas those two top sides are consistency across 80 minutes.
Oh yeah, they get better as the game goes on. It's crazy. But, well, that's basically... I can't really... What are you going to say about the Broncos? They're just...
50-6, that sums them up.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Dog shit.
Next game.
Evan Walters, a coaching appointment, sympathy publicity job.
I don't think it's him, though. I don't think the issue's him, though.
Answer this. If he didn't play for the Broncos, would he have got the job?
No, I don't think he would.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Fair enough. All right, we got this one. We got Bulldogs v Raiders. Now, Bulldogs should have won this game, but it was when they had 11 men. The Raiders, I'm pretty sure when they had 11 men, they scored 2 tries.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing about their tries was they weren't even having hard runs through between players, maybe isolating the 5'8". They somehow went around the Bulldogs' edge defence and scored in the corner. If I remember rightly, at least one of the tries was. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand the Bulldogs. Bloody hell!
I definitely improvement from them, but like you can't fault their effort. I think again. I think the effort was all sort of top tier.
I agree. Unfortunately, in a professional environment, effort is a bare minimum, and performance is the go-to, the thing you look at. But yes, effort was there from such a poor side.
I think they're going to get better. They have to get better. I do think they did look better without Flano in the side, unfortunately to say.
Unfortunately, it's a shame Liam Penrose isn't here. He would have a real good assessment on how they went with Flanagan.
Mate, he was ready for a rant.
Yeah.
Did you hear the rumours if Bulldogs sign? Apparently, they're looking at Tyson Gamble. If they sign him, he's heading back to the Sharks.
That's a tough one for Flanagan, especially probably after his ordeal at the Roosters.
That's 2 clubs in 2 years that have flogged you. Basically,
that's right.
That's a fucking confidence killer.
Oh, you'd be in the trenches. You'd be storming Gallipoli at that point. Your value in the NRL is down low. I guess he's got time on his side, but he does need to show something soon for his own individual.
Would you reckon he gets back in the team?
No, not on this. I know the Raiders are having their own troubles and they're ordinary. I can't say I remember the game too closely, but did they lose the game from their halves or did they lose it from their defence? And arguably the halves got them 18 points, which they've struggled to score over the course of the year. So maybe the halves weren't the issue this game. Unfortunately, I didn't watch it too closely, but
I think
it's going to be hard to Flanagan to get back in.
We're in that packed pub. We couldn't really see that shit. Because everyone just kept standing, all the AFL fans just kept standing in our way.
Hollywood supporters everywhere. They smelt. They had little teeth. Rugby league wasn't a winner in that pub.
Yeah, definitely wasn't. Much better for the Raiders. Though, well, not much better. They won. That's just better. I think than what they've been going through.
I think the thing with the Raiders is, who knows, maybe that win does sort of kick them in the right direction and they go on from there. But, yeah, performance-wise, I think they'd just be happy with 2 points at the end of the day, especially against the Dogs.
Well, at least, no one's talking about them again for a week. So that's sort of...
Fine.
All right, moving on to
paper over some cracks.
Yeah, basically. Moving on to the next game, Sharks-Rabbits. Actually, sorry. I've been told that I need to keep saying the score because I forget that not everyone watches every game of rugby league. We'll go back, just run through. So West Tigers v Knights, 36-18, Tigers win. Sea Eagles v Broncos, 50-6, Sea Eagles win. And Bulldogs v Raiders, it was 20-18, Raiders win. Okay, we're all caught up. Back to the next game. Sharks v Rabbits, Rabbits 32, Sharks 22. Oh, I thought the Sharks were going to win this, eh? I thought they were coming back, fighting hard, got a bit of momentum in that sort of second half, and then it just got fucking crushed because they fucking took a penalty back about four bloody players. Now,
Yeah.
that's
If
just
you're a
shit.
Sharks fan, you're gutted from that. That really killed it. It really did. That was ordinary.
Yeah, I don't really know. It's like it was just so soft as well. It just fucking wasn't. It wasn't on. Like I just like with that sort of shit, the bunker just fuck off. Unless it's like a really obvious thing, and it's something that's actually, if Cody Walker has been like a proper crush tackle, and Cody Walker cannot move his neck, maybe not that far, but not he's grabbed his back of his neck because he felt a little bit of pressure, and he's going to try and milk the penalty there. And I'm not saying anything bad on milking a penalty. That's
It's
normal.
gamesmanship.
That's like
Everyone does.
everyone does it. That's not something I'm concerned about. That's fucking everyone I played for. You milk the penalty anyway. Just someone's got their hand around the ball. Just let go of the ball in a sort of nonce to like easy way. Just sort of let go and penalty, kick the ball down, go down, try. So not on that, but yeah, it really fucking just killed all momentum there. But look, yeah, and as well, and any time momentum changes into Rabbitoh's favour, they're going to put fucking 3 or 4 tries on you. I think they scored 2 in the last last 10 minutes. So just you can see from that. Yeah, it was 2. There was 2 in the last 10. Just Cody Walker and Jai Arrow. So look, you can see that, but I think much better from the Sharks. I still don't think Rabbitohs are there just yet. Like, you can't play good for patches. You got to play good for a whole game to really be in that premiership conversation. But like last year, they'll probably sort of get it together by the end of the year. They're still missing Cam Murray, which I think is massive for him. Latrell's back this week. So you never know. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Do you remember much of the game?
I remember how good the Shiraz tasted.
After fucking 10 beers?
Yeah. Aside from the freight train that was the Shiraz, they hit me like Georgie Rose coming off the back fence.
It's because you scolded like a monkey.
Yeah.
We'd pour a glass, and then we'd go to drink, and we'd turn around. You already finished yours.
Yeah. Look, I can't even call myself a hero. I was just an idiot. But getting back on track to the Rabbitohs and the Sharkies. Like, if you're a Sharks fan, it's cold comfort. You lose another game. I guess that's all that matters. 2 points is massive at the end of the day. But you did come within 10 of a fairly good side who probably aren't hitting their straps at the moment. And I guess if you're a Bunnies fan, you're happy you've come away with 2 points and you realise it's before the Origin period, you're going to probably cop a few players from that. And as long as you're playing your best football after the Origin period, you're happy to just pick up the 2 points in this game.
100%. You're scraping through now.
Yeah, so I think hitting their straps in the last final 5 rounds in the competition, taking that form into the semis is important for the Rabbitohs. And if you're a Sharks fan, you need all the wins you can get at any stage of the season at the moment. Josh Hannay, their interim coach, still reckons they'll play finals this year. He's got to be on the gear, some might say.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, do you reckon they make the 8?
The Sharks?
They've got the squad too.
I've got more chance of lining up at left centre for the Dragons this weekend than making the top 8. But and I've got no chance.
Look at their squad. Like, that's a good squad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I just think they've got a lot of... And next year is probably where the Sharks are going to look to improve on the back of what will probably be a poor season. I think everyone can see the writing on the wall. But they've got a lot of players tied up, a lot of senior players tied up on big salaries, which are taking up a lot of the cap in the squad. So hopefully, if you're a Sharks fan, they can go out into the market and spend that salary cap on 1 or 2 marquee players.
They already missed out on Reynolds because apparently the board took too long or something, or tried to lowball him or something like that.
Yeah, they butchered that, and that I think that's going to be big trouble. I think that's where the Kyle Flanagan rumour stems from because...
Well, they let Chad Townsend go.
And again, they let Townsend go, and probably to the delight of many Sharks fans,
Yeah, to be fair.
especially my mates anyway. Shout out to Liam Bell. But if you're a Sharks fan, you're probably going, we got to re-sign Sean Johnson, or Kyle Flanagan's probably one of the only men in the market who can come in and play seven. So it's going to be slim pickings. They sort of squabbled it by not signing Adam Reynolds, which could come back to bite him.
Yeah, I 100% agree. But, I guess we'll see next year, to be honest. Moving on to the next game. Roosters, Cowboys.
Sorry, Joseph. I'm just going to interrupt you for 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm going to go take a piss. I'll be back. You can talk about the Roosters.
I'll talk about the Roosters game. Good on you,
all
mate.
right.
Probably could have just left. That's all right. All right. Well, while he goes to take a piss, let's have a little story time. All right. There once was a boy. He was born in 1999, and he got his first Roosters jersey that day. That boy was me, and I got to watch my Roosters win again. Thank you for gifting me into a winning team, Father. Anyway, onto the game. Look, I thought we were in control for most of it. I did think Cowboys did have a chance to sort of get back into the game, turn momentum, and then that sin bin was just fucking with Teddy sliding into him. Just, yeah, that was poor form from the refs. That shouldn't have been anywhere near that. I wouldn't even say a penalty there, but not my decision, unfortunately. But yeah, we only scored 2 in the second half, so they sort of fought back. Sort of after about I think it was Crichton scored about halfway through the second half. I think it was something like that, and they scored. I think it was 3 in the rest of or 2 in the first half. So I think they scored 1 out of the gate. But yeah, I think Cowboys massive improvement. I think they're gonna sneak into the 8. I think probably they're the best Queensland team. Probably between them and the Titans. Good to see Val Holmes sort of coming back to sort of really good form. Scott Drinkwater is just a fucking freak. He's a great player. I love watching him play. Now, for my Chookies, look, massive injuries. I'm just happy that we're getting wins. I don't think we're challenging at all this year in terms of really getting to the business end. But yeah, hopefully, with our spine that probably has, obviously, Teddy would have the most games. I'm actually not sure how many games has Teddy played. Let's have a look. 167 games. Oh, you're back. How's your piss? Good?
Yeah, relieving.
Good. I'm happy about that. Well, you got Teddy on 167 games. Now, you take that out. Our spine, Lachlan Lamb's probably maybe got faster 15 yet. Sam Walker's probably got 6 or something, and Marshy's probably got the same. That's a, 3/4 of your spine having only 30 combined games. I thought Lachlan Lamb actually played really good. I've always sort of rated Lachlan Lamb. I was kind of disappointed when actually the Roosters signed Flano, not for anything, but more just because I thought Lachie Lamb was going to be not a long-term 7, but definitely a 7 that was going to play for us. And Ben Marshke, just sort of surprising in terms of how well he's actually playing. So really happy with that. He's really heaps defensive, so that's always good for our team. But yeah, nothing really much else to say. I think Hargreaves is just a gun. I love him. I think we're going to really miss when he retires or moves on or anything. I think we're going to miss him massively, probably more than any other player on our squad. But yeah, basically it, to be honest. I don't really have anything else to say about this game. I thought, just massive improvement and continued improvement from the Cowboys, and we sort of just rolling on doing the Rooster thing and hopefully just be at the end of the season, which I think we will be. But yeah, all right. Any thoughts on the game, Dom? Do you remember any of the game, or were you too blind?
No, I don't remember much. I guess it's good to see the Cowboys. I know they lost by 14, but in this 2021
No,
competition,
that's
it
like
could
by
be
losing like two.
that's right. It could be regarded as a close score. So I guess it's good to see them competing and probably remaining in the contest for longer than what they were at the start of the year. For the Roosters, just another 2 points and just no excuses for the other players that have to fill the bigger boots each week. So good to see them picking up 2 points too.
Oh, thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. Now, here's a game that I didn't see. So I'll probably not talk about it a lot. I didn't even watch the highlights as well either. So
No,
sorry about that, guys. Um, Warriors 18 to Eels 34. The one thing I do want to talk about, how good was watching Brad Arthur and his son and all that. How good was that? I think that's probably one of my moments of the weekend.
After the game when they were embracing in the
Oh, it was
dressing table,
so good, so good.
that's cool. Doesn't matter who you support, that you love to see that.
Yeah, 100%. That's brilliant. I love that. Yeah, I thought that was mad. I thought that was really sort of touching sort of part. Yeah, basically that's it. To be honest, I thought and watching him when he scored the try, I did see the try. It was a good try, and then watching his dad react like that was awesome. But yeah,
Especially more than my dad would. But good to see Regan Campbell-Gillard scoring 2 tries as well with a porn stash mo.
well, the porn stash mode is what you want.
Doing good things, charging through the defence like you would in a video.
Oh, Jesus. I think we'll just move on from that game. I don't really know much about it.
Right, we'll edit that in.
Well, yeah, just edit that out. Nah, keep it in. It's good. Now, look, these last two games, there's not really much to say. I think we talked about them both a little bit. Storm Dragons 44 to 18. Game was over as soon as that send off happened, and as soon as that send off.
12th minute. Philly Mayano.
Yes.
Ooh.
Look, I do think he deserved to get sent off, though. I think that was a clear send off. Yeah, look, I just thought, like, Storm didn't have, they didn't have Pap. They didn't have Munster. They didn't have Brandon Smith. They didn't have Harry Grant. Well, because Pap obviously got injured like 10 minutes in. So, fuck. And they still put 44 on you.
Yeah, look, they're like the Roosters at the moment, especially for that game. I don't think Melbourne have had too many key injuries this season, but that game in particular, it was the next man up mentality. And, well, if you're Nico Hines, your value in the NRL has probably just gone up.
He's a gun,
30%. He's going to be starting fullback for a team next year. Don't know where.
He's a good looker as well.
Yeah, if you like blokes.
Obviously. Don't you like blokes?
Yeah, rumor is you like getting pegged.
Look, I never had it before. Look, I wouldn't. Let's say I wouldn't be opposed to trying it. Might cry during it, but try everything once, mate. That's how you want to show the Sheilas that you're, special. That didn't come out right.
Good to see Ravalawa get his first hat trick in the NRL. But yeah, no, it was the Nico Hines show. And it just shows his value, and there'll be a club in the market looking to sign him for next season. Whether that's Melbourne, even the Dragons, we don't know what's going on with Dufty, but...
Yeah, but he still hasn't signed, eh? Oh, that's fun, that's surprising.
Yeah, which probably leads us into thinking that he probably won't be retained.
But who's going to sign him? There's always the Bulldogs and the Broncos to sign someone.
I'm not too sure. Looking at the teams, who doesn't have a
established fullback?
Yeah. Possibly the Broncos. Jermaine Osako is not really.
Well, he's not a fullback. He's a winger that they've just shifted there to sort of fill a gap because Darius left.
Maybe the Broncos if the Dragons don't look to retain him, but
yeah.
I guess we'll just wait and see. He's got an AC joint injury, actually. I think so. I think he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks, which is a real shame because he's probably our main X factor in the Red V. But we'll just have to carry on.
Yeah, 100%. Any other comments on the game, mate?
Uh,
Any
I
of the
thought
Dragons players like to get pegged? No.
Nah, don't think so. Probably, actually, no, probably Corey Norman does. But I, I think good summary of the game was I think Griffin said it in the press conference. The Dragons are pretty gutsy with 12 men and 11 in stages. There's not much you can ask. I mean, that Melbourne team still has so much quality and strike around the park. Um, and we were missing a few players as well. Obviously, Lomax isn't there, and Cam McInnes hasn't been there from the start of the season, which is a real shame. But I guess we're just going to have to evaluate ourselves over the next 5 weeks and just hope we can jag some wins.
Yeah, just hopefully just get some before the Origin sort of starts. Though I don't know. Do you have many Origin players? You do actually. You got what? So probably Hunt, Bink, Queensland.
Yeah.
That's actually it. To be honest, I don't think there's anyone else.
If Zach Lomax came good,
Yeah,
he won't be good for Origin 1, but he potentially could be picked for Origin 2. Well, I thought he would have been one of my starting centres come Origin 1, but unfortunately...
No, Freddie doesn't pick Freddie doesn't pick centres. You forgot. Don't you remember that?
Yeah, no. Well, what, Jack White in last year in Gutho.
We only pick fullbacks. That's, yeah. Why would we need a centre? That's stupid.
No, specialist positions don't need them.
100%. Well, moving on to the next game. I actually really don't have anything to say about this game other than just fuck me. How good are Penrith? How good's Nathan Cleary? How good's Jerome Loy? If they don't win this year, then what the fuck have they done? They must have 20 injuries in their top squad, and they still probably would only lose by 1.
Yeah, I'll come out with a bold prediction. If Nathan Cleary stays fit for the rest of the year, he will win the Dally M medal. And if he does not, you can amputate my left testicle. That's how confident I am. And I'd almost be willing to put up the house for Penrith to win the comp. They are just in a different postcode to everyone else. Phenomenal quality across the park. Hunger with a young team. And you look 8 from 8 conversions for Nathan Cleary. That's going to be important in the close games too. And they just don't take a backward step in the middle of the park. They got so much quality.
Well, like those eight goals are 16 points. You know, that's how fucking important 16 points. That was the margin between the Chookies and no, it wasn't. But you know what I mean. Like 16 points. You know, especially if you say you're versing the Rabbits and they've put 30 in 5 seconds. Those 2 points each try is going to be bloody important.
Yeah. For me, it says a lot about the Titans as well. They are a long way off from competing with the top teams. In the previous weeks, they conceded 28 points to the Tigers, 36 to the Broncos, 40 to the Bunnies, and if I can find it, 36 to the Seagulls. So, Titans, there's 2 sides to rugby league. There's attack and defence. You can't just loading up David Fafita on the left edge and giving him the ball. You got to get behind the ball and tackle, and that's where they're lacking at the moment. Yeah. Justin Holbrook has all the hallmarks of a good coach from what he's been able to do, even from last season. But if they're seriously going to compete at the back end of the season and in next year, they need to take some pride in their defence. And defence is an attitude, so I think they're a little bit soft at the moment.
Well, I think they're a team sort of just coming through. I think the next couple of years you're going to see hopefully a bit more of a powerhouse. But well, anyway, and there was a send off. Herman SASA, very clear send off. Oh, that was just fucking stupid. Jesus Christ. Anyway, moving on. I think that was his
first game for the year as well.
Was it actually?
Yeah, because he hasn't been picked.
Fucking.
Hey, and I'll do some
investigating.
I'll let you know.
I'll go on. So that's basically it. Good round overall-ish. Kind of boring, but well. Magic Round looked cool. While Dom has a look at that, we're just going to pump through the what's it called? The review of basically what game, when's it getting played, where is it, our prediction and our margin, so 1 to 12 or 13 plus. So starting Thursday, we got Cowboys v Knights up in Townsville. I think. What do you reckon, Dom? Because I think Cowboys have got this 13 plus.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys will win. Sorry, could you just fill me in on any potential ins for the night squad?
I'll have a look. I think no, so Blake Green's back in. So, well, I don't know if he's might be on the extended bench. Yeah, he's on the extended bench. There's not really any ins, to be honest. I'm looking at it.
Well, from the Booker retirement home in Sutherland, that bloke has got to be 36 years old and past it, Blake Green.
Yeah, I think coming back from an ACL is a big thing, and somehow he did it at like he's 34. Oh, he's got to put food on the table for the kids. So anyway, let's see how it goes for him. But yeah, he's not playing. There's not really any ins. Yeah, I've got Cowboys 13 plus. I don't really see anything different. What do you reckon?
Well, I think there'll be a bit of a response from the Knights. Don't think it'll be enough to win Cowboys 1-12. By the way, Herman SASA's third game of the season. I was wrong, not his first.
Oh, it's only his fucking third. It's only round 10. It was round 10.
Exactly, and he's doing that. I don't think he'll be playing for a few weeks. He might have a holiday.
Yeah, I think yeah. Well, you're on the Gold Coast. You may as well. All right, so Friday 6 o'clock game, always the best game. Warriors v Tigers up in Gosford. Technically Warriors home game. I don't know. That's a weird one. What do you reckon?
I think you may as well get a 50-cent coin out and flip it, and hope for the best. There's a few ins for the Warriors. Notable ones probably Elise Katoa, Kane Evans.
I think Elise Katoa's in the reserves though.
Oh, he's been named in the reserves, has he?
Look, I'd probably go Warriors 1-12 though. Fuck it, 13. I'm just gonna go 13 plus because all the games are fucking gonna be 13 plus.
I'm gonna go the Warriors 1-12. I think they've shown signs of being a bit more consistent than the Tigers this season. So
yeah,
I think they should bounce back from their loss against Parramatta.
Alrighty, well we got Sharks v Dragons, Derby out of Jubilee. Hopefully that should be a good game. You guys have got Dufty, Ravalawa, Sims, Fuimeono, and Maguire all out. Yes, fuck. I don't know. I think Sharks 1-12. I don't know if you guys will be able to get them. Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I do, but I think Sharks 1-12.
If I'm looking at this game on paper, I probably am going Sharks 1-12. Especially with Billy Burns starting in centre for us, he's been absolutely shocking. I can see why Penrith let him go.
Was he the guy that you got from Penrith?
Yeah,
with the trade, wasn't it?
Trying to think, did we trade a player? I think we just picked him up. I don't think we gave him anyone in return. Could be wrong. But
player swap with Eddie Blacker.
That's right, Eddie Blacker. Right. Jesus Christ. Luckily for the Dragons, games aren't played on paper, and the Dragons will win 1-12.
Look, you've actually swung me. You've given me the confidence. Dragons 1-12, I reckon.
Smart man.
All right, Titans v Bulldogs. Titans 13 plus.
Yeah, Titans 13 plus. Too much strike.
Anything else to say with that?
No Herman SCSA. They might win.
Oh, no one's getting their head taken off.
That's right. No one's getting decapitated.
All right, we've got Roosters v Broncos down at SCG 5:30. They've actually got a couple ins. The fucking Broncos. Albert Kelly in for what's his face? Milford. That's basically it. Actually, I'm looking at everyone else. Yeah, so I think that's 13 plus Roosters.
Yeah, Roosters 13 plus.
Roosters 13.
Looking at the ends, David Mead is not enough to swing around a victory for the Broncos.
You know what they do need? They need Dale Copley.
You know what they need? They need Darren Lockyer. God, Dale Copley. They didn't. God.
He wasn't bad for us 2016.
Talk about a bloke that bounces from club to club.
He's only been to 3 clubs. He was at Broncos for
Twice.
ages.
Broncos twice.
Yeah, so he was at Broncos, then he went to the Roosters, then to the Titans, then back to us, then back to the Broncos. Not that many.
Was him and Lachlan Marina being the most retarded outside back combination.
Oh my
I've
God.
ever seen.
I remember that. They was because isn't Lachlan Morena?
Terrible.
That's is it Wayne Bennett's like nephew or something or?
One of the founding fathers of Broncos nephews, I believe. Could be wrong. I know it's not Wayne Bennett.
Oh, okay, because he was related to someone. Actually, remember Jack Reed? Poor bloke had to retire for like fucking head knocks or something. He was like one of the best defensive centers in the game, if I remember correctly.
Jack Reed. Another good redhead.
Love a redhead.
Absolutely.
All right, yeah. Just looking at the matchup, fuck me. You never know. The Broncos could come out and. Though I'm pretty sure every time we versed them at the SCG, we fucking pumped them by 30.
Yeah, shocking.
And I'm going to get pizza after. So what a fucking good night that will be.
I think I'm going Argyle after.
Where are you going?
Argyle.
The Argyle. Are you going to the game?
Yeah, I'm going to the game as well. Yeah.
Oh mate. Alrighty. Now, we got Raiders v Storm next game. With no Jack White and no Papali, no Hodgson.
Ooh.
Hey, they got Sam Williams. He's not that bad.
He's a good replacement to have, for sure.
Brandon Smith's back in. Just having a look. Is any... it's basically... Same team, Cam Smith and with Brandon Smith in. Chris Lewis is going to 6. I don't know. Did he play last week? I don't know if he did or not.
No, Riley Jacks played last week.
And Nico Hines at fullback. I think Storm get this 13 plus.
Yeah, the Storm in this one. Tossing up between 1 to 12 or 13 plus. I actually would have gone the upset if. Jack White and Josh Papali.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but yeah, they're both out.
I just think there's too much class across the 17 for Melbourne. Shout out to my man, Corey Horsburgh, though. Hopefully he can get a meat fire.
I like watching him play, but he's a fiery redhead.
That's fine. He plays close to the edge. Hopefully the new interpretation of the rules don't stuff him up.
Well, fuck, I'm pretty sure Hargreaves is just going to get banned from rugby league. I don't think he's allowed to play anymore. I think this is his last game.
Exactly. I think he might get a good send-off.
Mate, fucking hell.
This weekend.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. All right, so what did you pick, sorry?
Melbourne 13 plus, too much quality.
Yeah. All right. So the next game is probably going to be the best game of the what the fuck's it called? The round. Rabbitohs with Latrell back v the Panthers.
Actually, the last 2 games of the round are probably the best by a country mile.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, I'll allude you to the last game after we preview this one.
Yeah, come on, mate. I had to go double check that.
You agree or disagree?
I know, I agree. Fucking hell, they're probably that's Sunday. You want to go to the club? You want to go to Club Menai and watch it?
Yes, I do. Let's lock it in.
Lock it in, Club Menai.
Let me just check my soccer game, but I'll get back to you after.
Yeah. Fuck. I'm gonna go Penrith 1 to 12, but I reckon Rabbitohs might be able to get him here with Latrell back. I just think maybe Rabbitohs, that tendency obviously to fade out of the game, and Penrith just don't. I think they might be able. I think it will be a good game, but I think Penrith will get them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Penrith, obviously. Well, not say obviously. Rabbitohs have plenty of strike over the field, but 1 to 12 or 13 plus. I think it's hard to say. I think just the form that the Bunnies are in, they're not looking convincing week to week.
You don't know which Bunnies are going to turn up.
That's right. But having said that, they've got a few quality players back. Obviously, Latrell Mitchell, who was leading the Dally M before he was suspended, and Josh Mansour. But having said that, Penrith are just the
Too good.
benchmark week to week. I'll go Penrith 1-12 and sort of hedge my bets.
Yeah, look, I think that's a safe bet, but again, wouldn't be surprised. Now, the last game, I just to go back on what I said.
One to pick.
Go back on what I said before. I said the Rabbitohs Penrith may be the best game. I think this actually might be 4:00 Bank West. Fuck, I think Manly might get him here. Don't ask me why. I'm just seeing a beautiful Slavic boy that does runs down Manly Esplanade and magically pulls his hammy in the shower, not running down the Esplanade. Tommy Turbo, the long schlonged, beautiful man. I reckon Manly are going to get him on a 12.
Yeah, no, I think, I agree. I think Manly 1-12 is probably a good option. Just with the form Tom Trbojevic is in, he can just dictate games on the back of his runs and on the back of his hands. Jason Saab, he's finally figured himself out in first grade. I'd love to see a sprint between him and Addo Carr. They're both electric, and Saab's Saab's insane at the moment. No foreign, so Cade Cuss comes in, but he's actually quite a handy inclusion and proved to be a match winner on a few occasions. And then you look, Jacob Arthur's in, so obviously again no Dylan Brown after putting his knees through Drew Hutchison.
Fucking hell.
I think it's going to be a big test for Mitchell Moses. I think possibly you'd even say maybe not the biggest test of the season, they did play Melbourne, but without his halves partner there next to him and the red-hot form that Manly are in, it'll be interesting to see what he can deliver.
I reckon it could be a cracker.
I'm with you, though. Manly 1-12. Tom Trbojevic is just too good.
Alrighty, well, that kind of wraps it up. Obviously, massive thank you to my guest here today, Dom. Fuck you, Fish, for not turning up.
Yeah, you're a coward.
You're definitely a coward. And just everyone, follow this Slotcast for more updates on Footy Talk. Release this every Wednesday. Basically, obviously you can find me at Insta at JojoF1999, or if you want to look at pizza that I make, it's at via.garibaldi. Alright guys, well I hope you all have a fantastic, whenever you're listening to this, and I'll see you all next week, hopefully with Fish and Dom.
I'll be here, hopefully better Mike.
Yeah, hopefully.
As well. Actually, no, sorry, I get paid fortnightly. It'll be the week after.
Oh, you grub. Alright, cheers guys.